What do you think about this? Bullpen day in a day game following a night game. That has to add another layer, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like it. It's not as bad now, but when you start rolling into August and September, and another stolen base for him.
He's 7 for 7 now this year. He checks. They call a strike. What? Now the home plate umpire just called that a strike.
I thought he was checking with Tom Hallion.
What we're about to see is an ejection caused in part by disregarding trained mechanics, leading to miscommunication and confusion.
Because Hallion said he didn't go, right?
Yeah.
Julio asking what the count is? 3-2.
I think so, yeah. He's a bit confused also about it. I don't blame him.
Yeah, it shouldn't be 3-2. Should it?
He called it a strike. It was 2-1.
Yes.
He called it a strike. Hallion was giving him help because he thought he was asking for help.
That made it
when he really called it a strike. And that's what Scott's arguing with. You asked for help, and Tom Hallion said no, it was not a swing, thinking it was 3-1, which means he would have walked on this next pitch. But instead, the home plate umpire called it a strike.
Yes.
And made it 2-2, and now 3-2 is the count, and that's why everybody was confused by it all.
He called it a strike on the pitch location.
Yes. Or he said he swung. Pitch was out of the strike zone for sure. Thought it was up out of the zone.
Oh,
wow.
It's time.
We've seen that before.
It's time to pick on someone else. It's time. And Scott's letting him hear it.
Yeah.
Now, is this a couple of factors here between the location and of that last pitch plus what happened before?
Well, for one, Scott can see that those other two pitches were up out of the zone, right? You can't always tell if it's on the corner or not, but you can tell that the pitch is high. The other thing is this is something that I could see coming also because of what's been happening to Julio. I thought the first time that he would get thrown out of a game would be because of one of Julio's at-bats, and right now I think he's had enough. And then you throw the confusion on the check swing, and Hallion calling it a no swing, but the home plate umpire calling it a strike, and you can see Scott still confused by it all.
You can see Scott putting his arms out saying, this is what you said, Tom.
Exactly.
Okay, so as Tom takes responsibility and says my bad for the confusing situation, let's discuss what happened. A 2-1 pitch is called a strike on location by Livensparger. Hallion sees the catcher pointing to first and Livensparger's strike mechanic, which is a point to the right, and assumes it was balled and is being appealed. So he rolls no swing and gives the safe sign.
Calls it a
He
strike.
had already called it a strike.
He checks. They call a strike. What?
Servais thinks it's a no-swing ball instead of a location strike, so Seattle has a 3-1 count, but it's really 2-2, which means that the next pitch would have been ball 4 per Seattle's thinking instead of ball 3 per the official thinking, leading to the strikeout, and now Seattle is paying extra close attention to Shane's calls, which I don't think they were going to argue before, given the consistency of calling strikes in that location. But once this happens, anything short of a walk or a hit, especially on a high strike, will get an argument because Seattle thought that they had a walk.
That made it when he really called it a strike.
The reason Hallion mea culpas to Servais afterward is the MLB Umpire Manual explicitly talks about check swing appeals and tells the plate umpire to appeal with their left arm. So the batter, the catcher, they can hold and appeal however they want, but until the plate umpire does something, nothing's happening. Plate umpire here is using the right hand just to call a strike. Per this mechanic, if you're the base umpire, don't give a swing, no swing, unless the plate umpire uses their left hand. That's what causes the confusion. The exact scenario that the umpire manual warns against. The entire point of appealing by pointing with the left is to avoid confusion with the normal right-handed strike call. Everyone needs to be on the same page, and this is what happens when you're not for just one play.
You're right, Mike. It was a matter of time before Scott lost it a little bit, and I'd say he's doing a pretty good job of composing himself here, all things considered. Oh, Scott got tossed. He's been tossed.
There are a couple of confusing elements to that whole at-bat. You can see this one coming. This was going to happen.